In this lesson, we will study what happens with the first, second, and third strings when they're played open in reference to a bass note on the fifth string. Now, in Open String Universe Part 2, we applied this principle with the sixth string because all of our chord forms were rooted off of the sixth string. In this series, we're going to be studying chords that are rooted off the fifth string. So let's look at the chart that you have in front of you for this lesson. The fifth string open is an A, so that means that the third string open would be a G, the flatted seventh. Now what this does, you have three families of chords for the most part, majors, minors, and dominants. If you know your guide tones, this reveals instantly the general family that you're in. Now sometimes it's wide open, but let's look at this. If you're playing a chord in which the fifth string is the open bass note, that means you're playing an A something. If the third string is in there, you've included either the dominant family or the minor family. You wouldn't be in the major family. Okay, and what would happen with the second string? That's a B. In the key of A, that's the 2 or the 9. That would be an extension on the chord. And then the first string open would be the E, the fifth. So actually when you play the fifth string open and the first string open, you've got a power chord. Now normally you think of putting them in the same proximity within the same octave. So there's a power chord, root fifth, where I have A and then E. But do you see you have an open power chord because you've opened up the interval? And then as you ascend, you'll see on the chart, if we go to the first fret for our bass note, we're in either A sharp or B flat. So we'll call it the key of B flat. That key has two flats. Now the third string open G will be functioning as the 6th or the 13th. The second string, which is a B again, that's not going to change as far as the letter name, but it changes function. It's now a flat 2 or a flat 9. And the first string would be a sharp 4, a flat 5, or a sharp 11. Those are all enharmonic labels for the same scale degree. Now right away you can see a pattern emerging with this chart. It's no different than what happened in Open String Universe Part 2. As you ascend chromatically on the fifth string with your bass notes, the scale degree will descend chromatically on each respective open string. So let's just look at the fifth fret, for example. This would be a D. If I'm playing the third string open, that's a 4 or an 11. So I have some sort of sus 4 or 11th in my chord, or an add 4 if something else is going on. And then the second string would be the 6 or the 13 because it's a B. That's the sixth note in the key of D. The open E would be the second or the 9th. Now what's going to happen is you should get to where you know all of your scales in terms of anytime you play a note you can reference it instantly and find out what scale degree it is. But this chart clearly helps you check yourself. If you're not real hip on all your scale spellings and you don't know your theory that well, simply look at this chart to help you anytime you come up with a chord voicing, and just look at the bass note on the fifth string, and that will reveal how those open strings will function. You'll see this coming into play with each of the chords that we're going to study in this group of lessons.